So today we're back with another realistic rebuild. I almost said a real rebuild. No, we're back with a realistic rebuild. We're doing the Toronto Blue Jays, a team you guys absolutely love. Like every time I upload a video with the Blue Jays, you guys just kill it with likes, views, all that stuff, the comments. So of course, if you want to see another video tomorrow, we might do a realistic rebuild, we might do a normal rebuild, we might do some crazy challenge. But if you want to see a video tomorrow, hit that like button. Let's aim for 1,000 likes. Yeah, 1,000 likes, we bring the video tomorrow. So I hope you guys enjoy it. If you do, hit that thumbs up down below, subscribe to the channel if you're new and enjoy the content, and of course get in the comments, let me know what you want to see, and maybe I'll pick your comment for tomorrow's video. So of course the roster is on screen as per usual. I always use the same one. I just kind of update it or use the most recent updated one, and then I change some potentials or ratings or things like that, maybe some positions here and there. But obviously with the Blue Jays, there's a lot of young players, a lot of youth that needs to be developed. Didn't mean to hit my mic, my bad. But when you look at the team, you've got Ryu. I think he's a good player to kind of build that starting rotation around. But you've got Roark, who Tyler Chatwood was a one-year signing for this year. Obviously we're in 2020 right now. I'm just going to simulate it through, focus on the draft, and then we'll start in 2021. But I want to talk about this roster, what we're going to plan on doing with it really fast. Manoah, Pearson, definitely for the future. You've got Simeon Woods Richardson, who I think is going to be nasty in the future. May not feature, but the main focus is going to be this: pay for pitching. I think that's going to be the main area. Maybe make a couple trades to kind of boost up that bullpen. Maybe like a 3 or a 2 in the rotation if we really want to trade, because we have plenty of prospects. Kirk, Moreno. You've still got Tellez. Who else? Groshans. You got Miguel Jurado. Who else? Austin Martin, Orelvis Martinez. The outfield. There's one more. Maybe not. Maybe I was overthinking it. But there's so many prospects. We could even flip a couple starting prospects to get an MLB ready pitcher now. But the main area of this team that I want to focus on, that I want to try to improve, is the pitching. Because you look at the offense: Bichette, Semien, Springer, Hernandez, Guerrero, Gurriel, Tellez, Kirk, Biggio. There's so much offense. And then we've still got some young players. I'm really excited for Austin Martin. I think that dude's going to be a stud in the MLB. But I don't really see us going out and making too many offensive signings. The big focus, pitching. So with that being said, though, I looked at some of the pitchers that we could go out and try to sign. Unless we want to sign a closer, which I thought was pretty boring, I'm not going to go out and do that. Instead, I'm going to look at this one. There's Alton Buxton, outfielder, 18 years old, 75 overall, and good speed, decent fielding, really good contact stats. Or we could switch it up, go for someone who's got the power in Eric Sanchez, which 19, 64 overall, clearly a power hitter, would be more of a DH, and I'm very tempted by this over Alton Buxton. Buxton could be fantastic, he could be a beast, but like the whole power aspect of Eric Sanchez really gets me thinking like we could add him to the lineup, and in a couple of seasons he'd be really good. Plus, I'm looking at our outfield. Yes, we have Springer. Yes, we have Hernandez. Yes, we have Gurriel. But sometimes those guys don't pan out. Some of them may end up decreasing in stats. So I'm thinking maybe, just maybe, one of those guys could slot in. And I'm like, ooh, what do we do here? Because like Grichuk, realistically, I don't think Grichuk's leaving. 10 million. I don't know who's going to be taking that contract. So I'm trying to think, who do I want? All right, I'm going to go Alton Buxton. I really want to go for that power hitter, but I said I would leave myself to just one signing per season, and I don't want to go too crazy with it. But Eric Sanchez does look good. I'm really tempted. You know what? I'm gonna sign him, and then I just want to see how he develops. I may end up not even using him just because like it really just depends on how his stats develop. But I'm gonna break my own rule this time. He may end up not even playing with us. I'm not going to trade him, though. That is one thing. I'm not just signing these guys to trade. I'm actually signing these guys to actually add to the squad. So that's my move. So season 1, let me sim it. Let me show you the draft picks. Let's get into it. Alrighty, let's think about this for a sec. We aren't going to have that much money. It says 3 mil. It's a little bit of money to work with, but I really don't want to go out and go crazy spending money, if you know what I mean. So looking at the team here, obviously having a starter would be great because like Trent Thornton, Robbie Ray, Tanner Roark, Chatwood, doesn't really fill me with a lot of confidence. It really doesn't, especially the bullpen as well. You know, I'm looking at it. It was good. Like it's decent, right? I'm looking at this like, are we gonna get the same outcomes or are we gonna get, you know, 7 ERAs and things like that? So I want to find a starter to kind of work off of Ryu, right? We have Robbie Ray. He's never good in franchise. Tanner Roark, hit or miss. Chatwood, hit or miss. Yes, Manoah. Yes, Pearson, who I think can feature in real life, but right now in franchise, no. You know, so I'm looking at the other options that we have. We just don't have a lot of MLB ready players. So maybe going out and signing a starter is a possibility. Looking at our options, they're not great. So realistically, I probably won't go out and sign a starter. And then looking at our bullpen options, not great either. So realistically, unless somebody else pops up on the market, I'm not going to go out and sign them. So yeah, that's really it. So here's our draft. We had David Young, 72 overall. We had the 5th overall pick. I decided to run with it. This guy looks so good. Had to pick him up. Joel Valencia, shortstop, B potential. Who knows? He could turn out to be pretty decent. We've got Kendall Williams, who was a starter. And then you've got these, a catcher, Mikey Conway. I almost said Mickey Conway, but that's not right. Raul Cedeno and Corey Kubek. Really just excited about David Young. That's about it. So let's get into this first season. Let's do it. All right, about to start the actual first season. And I made a couple signings, and by a couple I think I made like one. Andrew Miller. He was sitting in free agency as we entered spring training. I thought a 1-year deal, sure, why not? I'm pretty sure he signed to the Cardinals in real life. This year's his last year on the Cardinals. So I think maybe the Cardinals just released him because they I don't know, but he was sitting there and I was like, all right, I'm gonna take him. The only other signing that I did make that is of note is Aledmys Diaz. I thought we needed a little bit better of some infield help that was MLB ready. Currently our best like backup is Joe Panic. I was like, okay, we'll pick him up, sign him to a 1-year deal. The rest were like deep potential 60 overall players just to kind of fill up some of the bullpen and also the starting rotation of the minors. So looking at this, I'm looking at our team currently and I'm going, pitching still needs an improvement, right? And the bullpen's okay. You know, it's not great, it's not terrible, like it's nothing special, but I'm looking at this catcher situation, and this is kind of like my big question mark. Do we go Danny Jansen, Alejandro Kirk? Do we go Reese McGuire? You know, and I'm thinking, well, Reese McGuire, suitable backup, right? Danny Jansen, you know, and Kirk are kind of like, who do I give the starting job to? And I'm looking at, you know, what's going on here, and I'm thinking Danny Jansen's the player that's kind of the odd one out. I think Reese McGuire, more of a backup. Kirk, start, more potential, younger. Danny Jansen just deserves to be starting somewhere else. So I'm gonna look around the league, see who needs a catcher. All right, so I've narrowed it down to 3 teams. We've got the Rockies, definitely need a catcher. The Cardinals, who I know in real life have Yachty, but currently don't really have a good catcher. And then the last team was the Nationals. I could go to the Angels, but since we just recently did a video with the Angels, let's hold off on trying to pick up Angels players. So looking at the Nationals, I was like, who realistically could I go out and get? You know, who would be someone that, like, I'm looking at it and I go, man, that would really help out our team. I could pick up one of these back end of the rotation guys. Maybe someone who's kind of on the fringe of making it. When I look at the Cardinals, they definitely have some pitchers that I would be interested in. Dakota Hudson is one of them. I think that would be kind of a difficult trade to swing. Ponce de Leon. You've got Matthew Liberatore, which is definitely kind of like off the table. But looking at some of their bullpen options, I feel like that would be a little bit more like a possibility. And then looking at the Rockies, they definitely have some, like, again, back end of the rotation guys that I would be interested in. You know, Kyle Freeland, maybe Pudge's son, Gomber, and then bullpen options. We all know about their bullpen options. What a name, by the way. Guadalupe Cordero from Indiana. Okay, but he looks pretty good. So If I'm looking at it, I'm probably thinking someone like Kyle Freeland, and you're probably thinking you're giving up too much. Honestly, I think pitchers are going to be in high demand this year just because of the way we're going from a shortened season to a long season. And on top of that, Danny Jansen's kind of in a spot where it's two of the three. We need to get rid of one. And yes, they do need a catcher, but I feel like getting a starter and, you know, maybe Danny Jansen and maybe like a low-end prospect. They do need pitching. You can have Rafael Adolis. There we go. We'll say this is a pretty fair deal. Realistically, there'd probably be like a low-end prospect involved, but this is a trade. I feel like this is an okay trade. Let's do it. All right, so after that move, this is what our pitching rotation looks like. Ryu, Roark, Ray, Chatwood, and Freeland. And the reason I went after Freeland compared to like some of the other ones, Gomber just got traded. And also, Freeland's been one of those guys who I feel like does well or does poorly, like in real life. And maybe it's just a change of scenery. He's got some team control. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. And we just had an extra catcher. We needed to get rid of him. So Steven Matz, Barucki, Stripling, Phelps, Romano, Miller, and Yates. In our farm system, we've definitely got some really good young arms that I'm going to keep my eye on. I want to get them involved. I just don't know when. And then on top of that, lineup looks great. I really don't want to go out and change it too much. Marcus Semien is on a 1-year deal. He could be fantastic. He could be garbage. I don't really see him in the long-term plans for this team. I would rather go Biggio at second, Bichette at short, move Vlad back to third, because I know in real life, losing all that weight, that was his goal so that he could play third base. And then we could let Rowdy Tellez play first or DH. And then we could go out and maybe get a first baseman. What I'm really thinking is Vlad to third, and then Tellez at first, and then we could just call up one of those players that we have, Austin Martin. Eric Sanchez looks unbelievable. Whoa. Did his power versus lefties just shoot up like 10? Because it was like 70. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. And then we've got Alton Buxton, who it just depends on how Springer, Teoscar Hernandez, and Gurriel do. Like if one of them starts to fall off, we can move them to like a DH spot, or, you know, if something bad happens, we can just let them walk in free agency. So I'm at the deadline, and again, pitching is kind of the big issue. We're a game out of the wild card, and I want to make that final push to the wild card. I'm going to acquire Edgar Santana of the Pirates. They're in last in the Central. I'm going to give them Jonathan Davis, Jake Fisherman, who's actually like a decent reliever, 65 overall, 25 years old, B potential. Not bad. And then Hector Perez. This is just a trade where Pirates are going to be looking for maybe MLB ready / on the verge of being MLB ready prospects. And yeah, this is what I'm going to give them. I mean, I could give them Steven Matz if I really wanted to, which I'm honestly not really against, which there we go. I'll even make it a little bit better. I'll sweeten the deal a little bit. I'll give them an MLB ready pitcher, an MLB ready outfielder, and then an almost MLB ready reliever for Edgar Santana. Honestly, I might be overpaying, but I need the bullpen help. All right, Otto Lopez for Scott Alexander, just straight up. He's in the minors. He's on the trade block. This is a fair deal. They're giving him a prospect for a reliever who's not even being used. All right, so I shored up the bullpen a little bit. Starters are still kind of iffy. I'm planning on spending in the offseason. And then we had an open spot, so I went out and signed Dwight Smith Jr. to a 1-year deal. We needed a backup outfielder, so I went out and just picked him up rather than bringing somebody up. So yeah, there we go. Those are the moves. Basically, I just looked and see who was on the trade block. There are plenty of really good players, but I don't want to change the team up too much offensively. And looking at the other pitching options, I'm not really that interested in. Maybe Braden Shipley, but I'm going to hold off for now. Like I said, I want to spend in the offseason. I'll see you guys then. Alrighty, 94 and 68. We made it as a wild card team taking on the Angels. So, okay, not bad. Our final push to make the postseason worked. I would assume that's what made it happen. You can see the team ERA is through the roof. Team average, though, is pretty good. I'm pretty happy with what I'm seeing offensively. It's just, like I said, pitching is the big problem. Okay, so we had the number 1 spot in the wild card. Like to see that. And the Brewers won the Central 79 to 83 with 83 losses. Not 79 to 83, but 79 and 83. Huh? That's wild. That's wild. League leaders Bo Bichette led the league in batting average. And then you have Ryu, who had quite the season pitching. 79 and 83. That's unbelievable. That's just absolutely wild. What is that? What is that? As I have something stuck in my eye. But okay, 58 home runs for Yordan, 51 for Freddie Freeman. Let's take a look at the awards. We have a Silver Slugger. Yordan won MVP. Tatis on the other side. You got Trevor Bauer and Garrett Cole. And Bichette, Taylor, Soria, and Osuna. Dom T. Williams with the Orioles now instead of the Mariners. And then Jarren Duran with the Pirates instead of the Red Sox. Okay, so let's take a look. Let's see how the team did as a whole. Ross Stripling, not too bad. Obviously not as good as last year, but he did pitch a little bit more. Barucki was solid. Scott Alexander, talk about a decent pickup at the deadline. Edgar Santana was solid. Jordan Romano was okay. And then David Phelps along with Kirby Yates. And then our starting pitching, Ryu, perfect. Love to see that. Roark was not bad. I might hold on to him for another season depending on how much he wants. Maybe as a 5 in the rotation. Robbie Ray, I just don't have faith in him, realistically. Kyle Freeland, not great. And Tyler Chatwood, not great either. We do have Thornton down here, who I'll probably give another shot to, along with Manoah, maybe. Pearson, maybe. They're one of those that I could let them use one more year in the minors. Like, they have decent stats, but they're not great stats, if you know what I'm saying. So we'll see. I could just say let's just rock with it and go from there, but I'm just not sure yet. Rowdy Tellez is letting me down so much. He might be a guy who gets stuck on the bench because he's just not producing, and we could use some of those younger guys who are coming up. Bo Bichette, outstanding season. Love to see it. Semien, I'm not a huge fan on him. I think he was a little bit overrated based on his like MVP season where he got, some votes, but I don't know. I'm not sold on it. George Springer wasn't fantastic either. Hate to see it. Teoscar was solid. Vlad Jr. was great. Actually, these both were great seasons. Lourdes Gurriel was a little subpar. Grichuk was decent. Kirk was, and Kevin Biggio was good. I think we got to get Alton Buxton in the mix. I don't know how, but he's getting in the mix somehow. Eric Sanchez isn't too far out. Austin Martin, probably another year. Probably one more season, and then I'll give him a shot. But I'm liking what I'm seeing from some of these prospects. Even this guy that we got from the Rockies looks decent. So who knows? But yeah, Alton Buxton. I just don't know who he takes over for. Gurriel, and we let Gurriel walk. I don't know. Maybe Buxton hops into the DH spot. I don't know. This is a tough one. So actually, hold on. I got it. I'll show you guys because I have an idea. Let's see how this goes. We lose to the Angels. That's okay. I have an idea. I know what I'm going to do. The Phillies defeat the Angels in the World Series. Are you kidding me? Okay. So here we go. Luriano retired and exclusive negotiations. Who did I say? Tanner Roark. How much do you want? 1 year deal, $3 million. Yes. Easy stuff. I'm going to let everybody. Kirby Yates, I'll give you 1 more year as well. And David Phelps was decent, but I have a feeling he's just going to fall off. So I'm going to let everybody else walk besides those 2 negotiations that I just went through. And now we'll have some money to spend, about a good amount of money. I definitely want to go, where though? Where do I want to go with this team? Offensively, I have my mind made up. I'm going to go like this. Crazy. Call me crazy. I know, but I'm going to give Gurriel a shot at second base. And we're going to rock like that because I know he's played the infield before in his career. I think it was shortstop. But second base, you know what? You can make the switch. And then looking at starting pitching, we'll call up Thornton. We'll give him another shot. And then I really want these guys to develop 1 more season. So I think we need just like that stopgap pitcher 1 more year. Who's it going to be? Paxton? Is Paxton the move? 1 year. That's what I'm looking for. Just a 1 year guy to get us to the spot. I think Paxton makes sense. Bring him to Canada. We'll give him $21 million. That's a lot of money. He's not even making that in real life. But you know what? Let's pay him. Let's bring in a couple relievers. Let's call it a day. Offense, we're good. I'll see you guys next season. All right, let's start season 2. I like the moves that we made. I probably should show you what moves that I made on top of the players that I drafted. So here we go. These are the players. We got Wally Barton, Rocky Farrell, who's 71, but I think his potential is only like 73. So he ain't improving too much more. We've got Lincoln Cochran. What a name, by the way, but B potential. And then we've got Kurt Dyer and Tomas Bruno. And then Roberto Ramirez was the main guy, A potential, 62 overall. So realistically, not many players are going to be, hopping into the team anytime soon. But Brian Goodwin was going to be a backup platoon outfielder for us. We have a lot of outfielders. I actually like the moves that we made this offseason. Zach Britton's going to be our new setup guy. Had a rough 2020 and 60 innings, but I'm going to see how he does as a setup guy. Maybe that's what he needs to do. I have faith in him there. And then outside of that, Lance Lynn was brought in. When I thought about it, 20 mil for James Paxton was just a little bit too much money. Even though it was only one season, I decided to, kind of take back that offer. I went 13 for Lance Lynn instead. I'm hoping, he gives us 3 ERA somewhere in the mid 3s, high 3s. I'll be acceptable with. And then I brought back Freddie Galvis. And by back, I mean, he's here. He's here. Just know he's here. That's all you got to know. When did Freddie Galvis played for Toronto, right? Yeah, 2019. Okay, I wasn't wrong. I had to look it up. I thought I was losing my mind. So there we go. So those were the moves that I made. This is currently what our bullpen's looking like. I think the additions last year of Alexander and Santana were really strong. Romano's one that I'm like, I don't know if I keep him or not. I really don't. When you look at like what we have here, this is looking nice. Like really nice. Eric Pardinho, I don't know if he's a starter or a reliever. I'm pretty sure he's been a starter in the past, so I don't really know why he's not starting now, but he looks good. We've got David Young, who's already up to a 76. Our rotation is nasty. Top prospects all across the board. But yeah, this is what we're going to work with for season 2. I like it. I think it's pretty strong. Offensively, this is what we're going to be rocking with as well. You guys can see some changes. Alton Buxton has been called up, 20 years old. I have faith in him. I think the Venezuelan is going to do really well. Gurriel has moved to second base, and then Grichuk's going to play left field for us. Our bench currently looks like this. I like the team. I like it a lot. I think it's going to be really strong. And yeah, let's just hop into it. Buxton's going to be a platoon guy. I want to see how Gurriel does. He's kind of on my chopping block right now. If he doesn't do well, he's done. But if he does well, we'll keep him. Grichuk's one of those guys who I could easily throw on the bench. 10 mil, yeah, it's a decent chunk of money, but if Buxton's going to kill it, I'd rather play him. Springer, we have stupid amount of money invested in him. And then Teoscar becomes a free agent, not this coming season, but the year after. So I'm a little unsure what to do with him. He's more of a DH at this point. So it just really depends. Because like if Gurriel doesn't do well, Austin Martin is knocking at the door. We've still got Eric Sanchez. So realistically, offensively, we're not really going to be spending money. I really want to spend money on the pitching. We're currently sitting with $1 million in the budget. Lance Lynn's gone. Britton potentially. Yates potentially. They're just aging pitchers that I just don't. They're kind of 1 year at a time type players. And then a couple other guys. So I got to be smart with the money. I got to see what we're going to do. You can currently see our rankings across the league. Pitching is 20th. I believe it. Contact and power, though, look nice. So let's get through the second season. All right, so we're 94 and 68. We won, or we're in the wild card, and we're taking on the Royals. Okay. The Royals? Excuse me? Let's take a look at the Royals. What are they working with? Okay, so Bobby Witt just jumped up to an 87. Definitely getting carried by his fielding stats, but they've got Benintendi, who's okay. Benintendi's pretty just killing it apparently. They brought in Semien. Okay, Olivares. I mean, some of these, yeah, okay. I mean, I guess is their pitching just nasty? What's going on here? They did bring in Paxton. He had a really good year, so maybe he would have been worth the 20 mil. But it just looks like maybe the pitching was pretty strong. I'm looking at that. That looks pretty good. Looking around the league, you guys can kind of see the Rays did really well. Twins, the Angels. Okay, so we won the wild card. The Braves, the Cardinals, the Dodgers, and the Padres. I mean, they're just fighting it out in the West. Jeez. And looking at this, Mike Trout led the league. Tatis led the league in average. Let's see. Any other crazy ones? JP Crawford with doubles. Triples for Bobby Witt. Starling Marte with 8. Ozuna led the league in home runs with 52. And then Yordan with 52. One thing I saw that was a little interesting. Chris Archer led the American League in wins. Huh? Excuse me? How? What kind of world are we living in? Trout won MVP. Ozuna won MVP. You've got Fried and Archer with Cy Young award winning seasons. Any other crazy stats? Gallegos, Anderson for reliever of the year, and then Kirilloff won rookie of the year, and Bo Naylor, now of the Giants, won rookie of the year. Okay, let's see how our team did really quickly. Ross Stripling, strong, not a strong season, but it was an okay year. I'm going to cut it off here. I'm saying he's done. We're going to bring in someone from the farm system or sign somebody. Barucki, decent. The whip's a little high. Don't like that, but decent season. Scott Alexander, not as good, which is disappointing, but we can always look to spend money somewhere else. On somebody else. Edgar Santana, great season. Romano, pretty respectable season. Zach Britton was solid, and Kirby Yates was still pretty good. I'm not too sure about Kirby Yates. I'd be interested in bringing back Zach Britton for another year. And then looking at our farm system, I'm bringing up the youngster, David Young. He looks unreal. Yes, the walks per 9 are a little low. I have faith in him. I'm thinking maybe Britton for a season as closer. We bring in Young, and then we find somebody else to be a reliever. Maybe someone like, man, Anthony K is not developing as quickly as I would have hoped. We could rock with Pannone or Dull, maybe. I don't know. We'll figure something out, but definitely, holy cow. I don't have any more options for Manoah or Pearson, so it looks like those two are coming up. Those two are coming up. I'm looking at our starters. Definitely a rough second half, because at the trade deadline, everybody had like a 3.5 ERA. Everybody. I'm talking every single one of the pitchers, and the only pitcher that stuck with it was Kyle Freeland. Everybody else had pretty rough outing this year. That's not what you want to see. Not what you want to see at all. Brian Goodwin is like the ultimate glitch platoon outfielder. You ever need a good outfielder, he's the guy to get, and he's always cheap. Freddie Galvis was an okay season as well. Rowdy Tellez just letting me down. Aledmus Diaz, oof. Man, Aledmus Diaz, decent season. Reese McGuire, not a bad backup. And then back to Brian Goodwin. Alton Buxton, I moved him up a little bit in the lineup, actually just one spot. Pretty respectable season. I don't know how he wasn't in the Rookie of the Year conversation, because pretty good. Bo Bichette, good season. Springer, really good year. Love to see that. Teoscar, I'm thinking he's going to be our DH moving forward, like he's already in. Vladdy, pretty good year. Honestly, I don't know, man. I'm thinking he's getting moved down. I don't know what the deal is, but hitting stats are just tanking. Grichuk, okay. Kirk, okay. And Biggio, not great. Not great. I'm hoping that's just like a one bad season type situation. So what I'm thinking is, Gurriel, we're not paying him that much. Move him to the bench. And then we can bring up Austin Martin. There we go. KC, go down. Boom. We win 11-1. I didn't mean to sim that game. No. I didn't mean to sim that game. That's unfortunate. We lose 13-7. Yikes. Ryu versus Yarborough. We take a 7-0 loss. And we get eliminated by the Rays in Season 2. Going forward, we'll definitely focus on the playoffs a little bit more. It's looking like pitching's our big issue. I mean, 13 runs, 7 runs, 5 runs. Not good enough. Not good enough. And we definitely need to add pitching. So Cano and Cabrera in the Hall of Fame. I'm going to bring him back one more year. You can be our closer. I'm down with that. 1 year, $8 million. Lance Lynn, Kirby Yates, everybody else. Actually, I'll bring back Aledmus Diaz. He's kind of earned his spot as a platoon guy. And then we'll let the rest walk for now. We could always bring back one of them or 2 of them or 3 of them. But for now, I'm interested to see what the market's looking like. So, Ryu, Thornton, Freeland, Manoah, Pearson. That's my 5. Man, I don't even know if that's a 5 that I'm like comfortable with. Scott Alexander's not going to be here. Britton's going to be here. You know what? Yeah, Scott Alexander's going to be gone. We'll call up Young. That'll be perfect. Thornton in the long relief spot. We need to sign a pitcher. That's what it is. Because, yes, Richardson is higher rated than the other 2. But He's not ready. He's just not ready. I'll leave it there. So yeah, we need a pitcher. We just need to sign a pitcher. That's it. Offensively, again, I like what we have. I don't want to change it. We have guys in the farm system. We'll bring in some platoon guys like a Brian Goodwin, a Ledmus Diaz, things like that. I'm going to add a lot of those guys to the 40. Arbitration, everybody's getting it. Contracts, everybody's getting it. And then here, what do we got here? Do we have someone we can work with long term and he can just slide in at that 3? Jameson Taillon? Maybe not. Maybe not. Sonny Gray? Probably not. Joe Musgrove. He's been the like 6th man. So what I need someone that I can rely on. Maybe bring back Taijuan Walker. All right, you can see one of the marquee signings this offseason. I felt like it was a move that needed to be done. These guys were just signed to fill out some of the empty spaces that I had in the minor league system. But draft picks, not a lot of big names, so don't worry about it. Jordan Hicks. Josh Hader went back to the Brewers for less money. I offered him more money than the Brewers offered, and he still went back to the Brewers. I offered him a player option. I think I offered him like 6 years. I really threw the bag at him. I was like, you can have anything you want. Please be the closer. And he said no. So we went with Jordan Hicks instead. He's been really good though. So you know what? I have faith in him. He was a little bit younger. You know what? It was a pretty good deal for us. We did have to pay a little bit of money, but you know what? I'm pretty happy with it. This guy was brought in. He could be decent maybe next year if we need a reliever. Antonio Senzatella. This is kind of my 1 year. Your team released you and you want to show that you can still do it. And which is wild because he's been good. Like he's been really good. So I'm going to make him our long reliever. And then Chris Sale, obviously, I gave him a 1 year deal. This is kind of his like, hey, I want to go out on a win type situation. I gave him a 1 year, $21 million deal. And then obviously we extended Joe Musgrove's contract. And then John Park was a guy that I signed, again, just to kind of fill out the roster. So this is currently what we're working with. I'm going to give Simeon Woods Richardson the shot. I also thought about going like Senzatella in the 5, Woods Richardson as the long reliever. I also thought about just sending Woods Richardson down for another year and then trading some of these prospects that we have to potentially pick up a starter. And I was looking around the league, seeing if we could find anybody that has like a 1 year deal left. Maybe someone like a Chris Paddock or like on a team that just isn't really doing well. I thought about going back to the Rockies, thinking about just, you know, kind of rating their squads. I looked at other teams as well, seeing like who had decent pitchers. The Pirates have been kind of bad. I thought about maybe Fernando Romero, maybe someone like a Roansy Contreras, and the Reds have been kind of suspect. You know, who could I get? And just no one really stuck out to me that would have made a lot of sense and on a bad team. That's really what it was. I thought about Marco Gonzalez. I get him a lot, and they looking at it, they could maybe use a second baseman, maybe a third baseman, definitely not an outfielder, maybe another starter like a MLB ready starter, which we kind of do have, but we kind of don't. Marco Gonzalez has been decent. He hasn't really blown anybody away, but he definitely could round out this rotation while we give Woods Richardson a season to, you know, improve. Plus, it's the last year of his deal. I'm kind of now saying this out loud. It's making me think that I should make this trade. Who could we get rid of to make this deal work? Joel Valencia, we're not going to use him. So there's that. That's like a somewhat high-rated prospect that could make this work. And who else? I don't really want to get rid of one of them because I feel like that's a lot for... All right, and then we'll throw him a starter. So like kind of like 2 mid-level prospects and then someone that is on the verge of being MLB ready, someone that we drafted, Kendall Williams. So they're getting a somewhat MLB ready pitcher, kind of on the verge of it, and then 2 prospects that I feel like kind of help out their squad. There we go. I think they do need a first baseman anyways, right? Maybe a backup first baseman, and then on top of that, a shortstop / second baseman that could help them out in a season or 2. You know what? Not terrible. Maybe giving up a little bit too much, but I would rather give up too much than, you know, kind of feel like I'm cheating the system. So I guess Rocky Farrell works too. We'll do that. That way I feel like I'm not giving up a little too much. So there we go. There's the trade. And that allows us to let Woods Richardson develop one more season in the minors, which I'm actually pretty happy with. So I'm thinking something like this. Boom, there's the team. Santana came back to be our setup guy. I was really happy about that one. And then I'm gonna give Pannone one more shot. If he doesn't do well, then we got to get a new guy that can really help us out. Outside of Hader and Hicks, didn't really like the other options. There was Chapman, meh, and then a couple other guys, but like they weren't people that I felt like could do much better than what we already had. So here we go. This is the team. Offensively, I did make a couple changes to the lineup. Ooh, hold up here. The CPU changed my lineup a little bit. So this isn't the order that I want, but this is the lineup that I want. Yeah. So this is how it's gonna go, but not the lineup. The lineup is all over the place. Don't listen to this. So these are the players I want to rock with though. Teoscar's kind of on his last string. If he doesn't do well, I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna sign some guys. So yeah, that's really about it. Plus Grichuk's been kind of a decent bench bat for us. Good win. Aledmys Diaz, Tellez, McGuire. The offense I have faith in. This is the one guy I'm not sure about either. He's just been a little subpar since 2021. This is season 4 too. This is like our kind of, we need to win. So let's figure out what we're gonna do. I'm gonna leave it like this, and hopefully it goes well. If not, we're gonna start making some trades, go a little crazy with it, but of course keep it realistic. So we'll see how it goes. See you guys then. All right, another wild card spot, 96 and 66, taking on the Twins. So it just looks like, you know, to win the division, we're gonna have to just go absolutely over the top, which I was trying to avoid. I was trying to focus on players that like we could develop. Chris Sale, I don't know about him. Bo Bichette, definitely want to pay him, right? We definitely got to make sure we pay him. Same thing with Vlad Jr. And maybe let Grichuk walk. I probably will. I just think we definitely are going to have to start paying people in the free agency. Like, that's really what it comes down to. Just really make sure that we do kind of go overboard with pitching and that we actually can, like, win the division for once, because wild card games are killing us. So the Reds won. The Dodgers, 121 wins is just gross. And looking around the league, definitely some names I'm going to keep my eye on. See if they become free agents. Bichette, though, is really turning into an all-star, so don't want to lose him. And Bobby Dahlbeck had the most home runs, really. So we had MVP for Bichette, a Rookie of the Year for Eric Sanchez, and a Hank Aaron Award. So, all right, I'll definitely take that. Dustin May was nasty. Unreal. Severino was pretty good as well. And actually, what was that? Chris Flexen was in the mix? Okay. Reliever of the Year, just nobody. Garrett Crochet on the other side. Eric Sanchez, really, over these two guys who clearly had a little bit better stats. Interesting indeed. So let's see what we have here. Senzatella, just not great. Hate to see it. Baraki was good though. Romano, Anthony Kay came in to take over for Pannone, and he did really well. David Young, wow, what happened? Edgar Santana, the ERA is high, but the whip's still really good. So, like, I'm not too worried about it. And then Jordan Hicks struggled a little bit too. We definitely have players I'm looking out for. Like, Pardino's probably going to take over for Senzatella. And, like, Woods Richardson's coming up for sure. Chris Sale just got roughed up a little bit. Musgrove was good. Gonzalez was solid. Nate Pearson, yikes. Manoah was decent. And yeah, so I might bring back Gonzalez. So it'd probably be like this: Pearson, Manoah, Simeon, Woods, Richardson. We'll see. I don't know, man. Do we just, like, the bullpen I feel like isn't letting us down. I feel like it's people like Pearson, you know, like Chris Sale, Senzatella, because, like, the bullpen was kind of nasty. It was just, or maybe it's the lineup. What's going on with this team that we're just not getting good results? So Alton Buxton, no power, but he gets on base. You know, Bo Bichette was MVP. You know, Springer's going down a little bit, but not too much. Teoscar had a good year. Vladdy had a good year. Biggio, not bad. It went up, so that's something to look forward to. Eric Sanchez struck out a lot, as expected. I mean, doesn't have the best vision or discipline, but I'll take it. Stole 20 bases also. Austin Martin improved. Kirk improved. I mean, what's going on here? Like, why aren't we doing well? I just don't know. Like, why aren't we doing well? I just feel like maybe I'm cursed. Maybe this is just a cursed rebuild, because like we have good players just not performing at good levels. So taking on the Twins, we are the home team, so I would hope maybe like a little advantage there. We got a 3-run home run from Eric Sanchez, and Starling Marte puts 2 back on the board for the Twins. Hate to see that. And no runs scored there. And are we going to get anything, or are we just going to let the Twins get back into the game? Buxton goes deep. No. Stop that. Don't. No. Stop. All right, Sale, you're done. I don't know what to do anymore. Like, Sale's done. We're tied 4-4. Double play. Not what you want. And gets out of it. So, okay, 7th inning. They're going to go to Gesselman or Gesselman. Come on, do something. Anything at all. Anything at all. We're going to bring in Romano. He's been really good for us. And, of course, I say that he allows a run, which is not great. I hate when that happens. I always say someone does well, and then what happens? They allow a run. So we get a walk, okay? Eric Sanchez, nothing. Perfect. Just perfect. Perfect. You let Sano steal a base. Sano. You can't make this up, man. You can't make this up. You just can't. Sano stole a base. Unreal. Unbelievable. The Angels defeat the Dodgers. Whatever. 4 straight seasons. Wow, they all retired. Really? Or at least those 2. Really? Okay. Oh man, that's just why? Why? That's all I gotta say. Why? How many home runs did he hit? 42. We'll exercise that option. Marco Gonzalez, what do you want for like 1 year? 8.5 mil. Deal. Rowdy Tellez. Ooh man, he was good this year. 100 at bats, but like previous years just make me think not great. And he wants a lot of money, man. That's a lot. That is a lot. I'm gonna do 1 year, 6.5 for. I'll do a 2-year club option. 6.5 for Barucki. Grichuk can go. Senzatella can go. I can't warrant that for Tellez. I just can't. It's too much money for a player that like realistically doesn't start for us. Doesn't even come close to starting. So I'm gonna add those to the 40 man. Arbitration. I'm gonna make sure everybody gets arbitration. Yeah. I mean, Kirk hasn't been great either, but like if you look at his stats, like they're not bad. I don't understand why he's not putting up good numbers. I don't know. Contracts. Everybody's getting a contract. We have plenty of money. I'm going to go, and what I'm thinking is one of these guys, one of these 2 is getting moved to the long relief spot. Maybe even Woods Richardson goes there, and I pay an ace. Like I'm talking about someone that can like stick with the team for some time. Walker Buehler would be perfect. Like that, or Soroka, or someone like a Shane Bieber. I'm paying an ace. I don't know who it's going to be yet. It could be Woodruff. It could be Max Fried. But I am paying an ace. We're getting a really good pitcher. And maybe even a bullpen arm. Let me see here. You know what? I'm going to stick with it. Bullpen hasn't been our problem. I have faith in them. Lineup-wise, I have faith in the lineup, man. Like, the lineup's been doing their job. We've been crushing home runs. Almost every single player has 20 plus. We'll add a couple bench bats, but I'm paying an ace. We're getting a clear ace, and I really want it to be Walker Buehler. So let me see if we can swing that. If not, we might be in some trouble. I'll see you guys for the final season. All right, final season. I can't let this be a bust. You can see we're ranked highly. The contact, the power, the pitching, the defense, not worried about. Speed, I'm not worried about. We got a good team. I got him. Walker Buehler. Max deal, 10 years. Yeah, I know. It was a lot of money. I didn't even think I was going to beat out any other team. I honestly was like prepping my bids for Shane Bieber, Soroka, but we somehow convinced Walker Buehler to leave sunny Los Angeles, the stacked Dodgers, who just won, I think, 121 games. We convinced him to join us. And, you know, the pitch was, hey, we're building something special here. I want you to be part of it. You're the man to lead the line. So I mean, we've got the team. The bullpen was disgusting last year. So good outside of like what, David Young, Edgar Santana. The ERA was high, but the whip was super low. Kind of the same thing with Hicks. Like, yeah, the ERA was high, but the whip was low. I brought in Jose Abreu on a 1-year, $4 million deal. Same thing with Randall Grichuk. Same thing with Wilmer Flores. Like, all their contracts are like almost identical. Like 4 or 5 mil. These two guys were, Reese McGuire's already been here. Geraldo was part of the farm system. Lineup has not been changed. We've been blessed with a really good offensive lineup. We've been able to keep it together. This hasn't been my issue. Pitching. Or maybe we're just getting unlucky. I don't know what it is, but I need to win the division. I need some luck to start swinging my way. I feel like we've been so unlucky with this team. Hopefully, fingers crossed, this is the year. See you guys at the end of it. All right, we did it. 109-53, won the division. Whoo! Finally. And it took a lot of wins to do it. We won the division by 13 games. So you know what? I'll take it. The team ERA at 3.8, average at 2.76. Okay, definitely could have been better. Maybe I'm just holding the team to such a high standard because like we have really good players. I'm expecting us to do very, very well. And we had the best record in all of baseball. Buxton had the most stolen bases. Guerrero had the best slugging and OPS. Love to see that. And then Marco Gonzalez and Walker Buehler. Okay. All right. Alrighty. So here we go. Looking around the league, see what other players are leading the league in certain stats. And Austin Slater, really. Lazaro Armenteros now with the Detroit Tigers instead of the A's. Interesting there. 58 home runs for Seager, 50 for Judge. Vladdy not too far behind him. Let's take a look at awards. We've got a Hank Aaron Award, a Gold Glove, and a Cy Young. Okay. Vladdy right behind in the MVP race, not too far out. Okay. We've got Buehler and Marco Gonzalez up there. Okay. Batting titles. You've got reliever of the year went to Brad Hand and Jose Alvarado. Rookie of the year was Alexander Canario and David Handy. What a name. JJ Goss and Julio Rodriguez. I bet he's pretty handy at first base. Anyways, let's continue to move. Pardinho moved up for Woods Richardson because Woods Richardson was getting absolutely rocked. Like, it was just not a good season for him. And Pardinho had a pretty good year. 26 innings. Can't complain. Barucki, decent year. He had like a 4 ERA at one point, like over 4, like 4.5. So he definitely turned it around second half of the season. Romano has been so good for us throughout this entire thing, but it might be one of those things where maybe his ERA is starting to creep up. We might start to get a little unlucky with him. So it's kind of, you keep him, you don't. It's not like, you could keep him, you could let him go. It's not like it's going to be the end of the world. Anthony Kay, solid season. David Young, bounce back year. Edgar Santana was decent. And then Jordan Hicks was lights out. Yeah, he blew 7 saves, but those numbers are gross. And on top of that, you have players like Pannone down here, Elvis Luciano, and I'm pretty sure we had another guy that we drafted that I'm just not seeing. So I still think you've got plenty of bullpen options. Walker Buehler was gross. Musgrove, solid. Oh, man, look at this rotation. Okay, don't look at that. No, don't look at that. But everything else was really, really good. And definitely was that's what we were needing. We just needed the pitching staff to hold their own, and the offense would do the rest, right? If the pitching could keep us in games, keep the opponents to like 2-3 runs, the offense is going to take over. And they definitely did their job. So pitching, definitely what we needed. Buxton still putting up good numbers. I don't understand why he's going down. Like, he's a really good, well-rounded player. I don't get it. Don't understand it. Bo Bichette, unreal. Vladdy Jr., unreal. Teoscar still putting up crazy amount of home runs with the crazy amount of strikeouts. You got George Springer still putting up solid numbers. Austin Martin, he just doesn't have the pop, and that's perfectly fine. 18 home runs, 20 doubles, like, that's fine. Like, those aren't bad numbers. I'm pretty happy with it. Kevin Biggio in his contract year showed that he deserves to be paid. And then Eric Sanchez looks unreal. Holy cow. Ooh, dang. Holy cow. I wouldn't change the lineup at all. Like, I would just rock with this. And then Kirk. Okay, Kirk, I see you. put up decent numbers. Still a little low, but we'll make it work. All right, so now we're taking on the Rays. How? Okay. No, don't. No, not like this. Come on. We finally have a good season. A great season, in fact. And you know what? We're gonna rock the old school with the black like trim and everything. We have a solid season, and then you're just gonna take it away from me just like this. It looks like the CPU went and moved my lineup around a little bit, which I'm not happy about, like at all. This is not the lineup that I set at all. Like I actually went through and set every single lineup, and this is not what I had, because Wilmer Flores does not start over Austin Martin. What is going on? No wonder why I'm getting screwed out of wins, because the CPU's trying to sabotage me. What? G-Man, don't do that to me. I've been praising you all year. You've been a staple in my teams in franchise all year, and that's how you're gonna repay me. G-Man's just gonna go and take a home run and just give them the lead. Please don't let that be the deciding factor, because right now, okay, Kevin Kiermaier. What is this? Get out. Grichuk, no. I want... We got to get the bats that are normally supposed to be in here. So, I mean, let's get Buxton in. Like, he's not even playing. Springer's fine. We're going to take out Buehler here. We're just going to go to... We'll go Romano. He's been pretty good for us. Gets us out of it. Yep. We're going to pinch hit. We're going to bring in Austin Martin. Like, I don't understand it, man. Why is this the case? Why did it have to happen this way? Comes down to this inning. Brendan McKay's been lights out, so like I can't even be upset about that. But can we do something here? A line out, 1 run scores, okay. A strikeout. It comes down to Buxton, and that's how we lose. Dude, if they just fix one thing in franchise, please let it be that the AI doesn't change the lineups. Please let it be so that the AI does not mess with the lineups. Holy cow. Wow. All right. What I guess that's how it ends. That's a very disappointing way for it to end, that we couldn't make it past the ALDS once in 5 years. But yeah. Wow, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's on a sour note, but I thought, like, I think we just got unlucky. Like, with the team that we put together, we really should have won a lot more games. I'm like thinking about it. I'm sitting here going, that's a good pitching staff. That's a great bullpen. The bullpen was outstanding. Like, some of the best bullpen numbers we've ever had. And offensively, you look at that lineup and you go, how is that team not winning a World Series? I really think we just got unlucky. The RNG not on our side, and you know, because it's me, the RNG's even further not on our side. So I think that's how it's gonna end. I hope you guys did enjoy it. Again, you want to continue to see the videos, 1,000 likes on today's video. I'll do another one tomorrow. And if you're new here, you enjoyed the content, consider hitting that subscribe button. That's really about it, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.